So today we're in Aiken, South Carolina, and we came to visit our good friend QuickSilver P-51, also known as Scott Yoak, and call sign Scooter.
Thanks, Alex. Great to be here, buddy.
Awesome to be here as well. So the plane behind us, this is a North American P-51 Mustang D. And could you tell us about the history of this aircraft, where it came from, and how it got to be here today?
Yeah, sure. So start with a little P-51 history. First off, there were several makes and models of the Mustang. The largest produced and obviously the most famous is the D model, which this is P-51D Mustang. And the original airplane rolled off the assembly line. The original Mustang rolled off the assembly line in 1940 and had a Allison engine in it, a V12 Allison engine in it, with a single-stage supercharger, and it didn't have the horsepower to become the fighter escort or the bomber escort that it was designed for. So they got the idea to put the Rolls-Royce design Packard-built Merlin in it, and that became the B and the C model Mustang with the fastback, as you've seen with the famous Tuskegee Airmen and Bud Anderson's airplane, stuff like that. Then they went to the bubble canopy, which is the D model, which this one has, and that became the most widely produced. Over 7,600 D models were produced and over 15,780 P-51s in total were built. But this airplane rolled off the assembly line 10th of July, 1945, and it was never accepted into Army Air Corps inventory. This airplane stayed in a holding yard because the war was starting to wind down. And a lot of the assets in Europe were either being left over there to be demolished or being recirculated down to the Pacific Theater. So new build airplanes were sort of in reserve, if you will. So this airplane spent 2 years in a holding yard in Kelly Air Force Base in Texas. And then whenever the Air Force came around in 1947, it was assigned to the 140th Fighter Wing, 191st Fighter Squadron out in Salt Lake City. And it was at the Salt Lake City Air Guard base there for 3 or 4 years. And then it moved around. It went to Norton Air Force Base in California. It was up in Portland with the 123rd Fighter Wing. And then it came back to Salt Lake for 3 or 4 years, came out of inventory in 1957, and a couple civilian owners bought it. And one of them unfortunately was killed in it, and we recovered a lot of the wreckage and built QuickSilver out of all Mustangs from all over the planet, to be honest with you. But the main identity of the airplane is a crash airplane from the Puget Sound up in Seattle.
How much was left of the airplane after that crash that you had to rebuild from?
So the original airplane we had all the data tags from that aircraft. The rudder, the left flap, the right clamshell door, and the canopy skirt are all from the original aircraft. Big components like the wings and the fuselage and stuff like that. The left wings from Dominican Republic, the right wings from Sweden, tail cones from Israel, engine mounts are from China and Philippines. There's just from all over the place. We made an airplane out of several is what we did, but the identity of the aircraft is a Air Guard airplane.
Now you built this with your father, didn't you?
I did. This was a 15-year restoration with my father and I. Started in 1992 and ended in 2007. And first flight of the airplane was April 1st, 2007, and it's been flying ever since.
Now, we were talking yesterday, and you were telling me what a mentor your father was in aviation, and how he taught you how to fly,
Yep.
how hard he was on you. Was he your number one mentor that taught you how to fly?
Yes, he was the primary one. Obviously, growing up, he was my hero. I wanted to be my dad whenever I was a kid, and he was flying tons of warbirds. He was flying all sorts of warbirds out in Southern California, and I grew up watching him fly Mustangs and Bearcats, Hellcats, P-38s, T-28s, anything that was around, he would fly it. And when I started getting into the airshow scene, because I did want to be a display pilot, my first mentor was Dale Snort Snodgrass, who was a highest time F-14 pilot, also a P-51 pilot. He sort of got me introduced into the thing, and then it was later taken over by my current mentor, which is Jive Kirby. And he's just been an absolute wonderful individual in my career.
Great.
So.
Now, tell us about your airshow performances. A lot of us have seen QuickSilver. It's a famous aircraft.
Yep.
It's amazing the amount of messages we get when we post QuickSilver. It's QuickSilver. It's QuickSilver.
That's correct.
How many shows do you perform per year? And tell us a little bit about your routine.
I'm anywhere between 20 and 25 shows a year. That's like my average season. And my show season, or my show performance, for the lack of words, I would say is a little different, because I didn't want to do gentleman's aerobatics. I wanted to show the capabilities well within the performance parameters of the aircraft, of what this airplane can actually do, and even give yourself a safety margin beyond that to show folks that these airplanes are incredibly capable So, you know, I do a lot of vertical maneuvers, a lot of vertical rolls, which hasn't been showcased in decades in the airplane. A lot of the difficult precision rolling maneuvers, as well as the more difficult, not like nose high rolling, more of a straight line point roll type performance. Flying the airplane like I feel the airplane should be flown.
How many G's do you pull during your performance?
You know, and believe it or not that much. I'll range between 5 and 6 on a lot of the vertical stuff, but the other stuff, 3, 4.
That's still a lot, though.
It's still a lot. It's still a lot. It's still 3 times what I'm weighing right now. So
I'm sure you're exhausted after that
I am.
demonstration.
It's a 15-minute demonstration. I'm pretty much good for the day. Yeah, I don't need to do cardio. I don't need to do any of that stuff.
So we got a message from one of our viewers asking if you ever wanted to be in a movie or doing anything on TV with aviation.
Absolutely, sign me up. I don't know what movie it's going to be in, and I don't care what it is. I'll accept it.
Maybe we'll make
Absolutely.
our own movie together.
Yes, yes, we'll do that. But
Aviation Daily, the movie. How about that?
it's a horrible idea. Let's not do that. Yeah, let's not do that.
Okay, well, hey, thanks so much for having us at your hangar.
You're the man,
It's been
dude.
a pleasure to be with QuickSilver, and can't wait for the air show season to resume so we can
It will.
so we can see you flying.
We'll see y'all down the road, and we'll see y'all somewhere in the U.S. flying shows.
Okay, sounds good. Thanks again.
All right, brother.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, man.